Hello, I'm Food Daniel. These are my predictions for the IWFL Week 2. Okay, I'm on the IWFL website looking at both the scores from Week 1 and the schedule for Week 2. Here are my predictions. Okay, Wisconsin Warriors at the Minnesota Vixen. Okay, this is the opening day for the Wisconsin Warriors. The Minnesota Vixen, they played last week and they surprisingly won their road game against the Nebraska Stampede 22-6. That was a surprise. I thought Nebraska was going to win that game rather handily. Guess not. So, a tougher Vixen team than I expected. But still, the Wisconsin Warriors, they're the class of the Great Lakes region. I don't see Minnesota beating them until I actually see it. So I predict Wisconsin will win this game. But it won't be embarrassing. I'd say by 2 touchdowns. Yeah, I'd say Wisconsin. Okay, Nebraska Stampede at the Iowa Crush. Again, Nebraska lost 22-6 to Minnesota. That was surprising. To me, anyway. Once again, I'm a fan on the West Coast. I don't know much about the central U.S. teams. At the Iowa Crush, hard to say. This is the Crush's first game of the year, too. But that disappointing showing by the Stampede, makes you wonder how they're going to do the rest of the way. I'll pick Iowa in this one. Probably be pretty close, though, because, I don't quite remember. I don't think Iowa was particularly dominant last year, if dominant at all. So, yeah, I'll say Iowa, but by a small margin. Okay, New Orleans Crew at the Austin Yellow Jackets. These are 2 brand new teams this year. For New Orleans Crew, this is their first game, while the Austin Yellow Jackets, they got shut out last week by the Houston Energy 45-0. The Yellow Jackets are also the second team in the Austin, Texas area, which means, while I haven't seen their roster, I expect it's probably a bit thinner than it could be. Hard to say what's going to happen. Austin is the home team, and, road trips do have a way of, thinning out the visiting roster. So I'll say Austin's going to win this game. I can't even begin to guess by how much, so, I'll say Austin's going to win. We'll see by how much. Okay, in Colorado, the Rocky Mountain Thundercats from Colorado Springs are traveling not too far to Denver to play the Colorado Freeze. Okay, Colorado Freeze, they won their game last week against the Colorado Springs Voodoo 20-6. While the Rocky Mountain Thundercats, this is their first game of the year, but 2 weeks ago they played a preseason game against the Utah Falcons where the Thundercats only brought 15 players and the game was called at halftime because they had suffered too many injuries to finish. I don't know how that's going to impact them. Hopefully not too much. Wouldn't it suck to get injured out, because of a preseason game? So we'll see what happens. The Rocky Mountain Thundercats are in Colorado Springs, just like the Colorado Springs Voodoo, and the Freeze beat the Voodoo, so I'll predict Colorado Freeze will win this game. I'll predict they'll win this game. I can't imagine by how much, though. So, yeah, I expect Colorado will win. Okay, back to the East. It's the Toledo Rain at the Baltimore Nighthawks. Okay, the Toledo Rain are coming off of a humiliating 66-0 loss to the defending champion Pittsburgh Passion. So I guess it's not that humiliating. While the Baltimore Nighthawks, they've been around for a long time, just like Toledo has, and it is a home game for Baltimore, and since Baltimore's first game, hard to say what they have. I think Baltimore will win that game. Can't say by how much. Not very helpful, am I? Okay, Philadelphia Firebirds at the Pittsburgh Passion. Okay, the Firebirds, they won what to me was the single biggest surprise in all of women's football last week. They defeated the Carolina Phoenix 20-0. I don't think anybody saw that coming. So, the Firebirds definitely have something good going on. I wonder how many of the old Philadelphia Liberty Bells they've absorbed. However, the Pittsburgh Passion, they're the defending league champions, and they're always a great team. And again, they defeated Toledo 66-0 last week. And I think it'll be something similar here. I think Pittsburgh will win this one by about 4 touchdowns. Yes. Okay, the Knoxville Lightning at the Carolina Queens. Knoxville Lightning at the Carolina Phoenix. It might be helpful for fans on the West Coast. If you're in Carolina, call yourself either North or South so we can tell you apart. Please. Okay, the Carolina Phoenix coming off of that surprising 20-0 loss to the Philadelphia Firebirds, playing the brand new Knoxville Lightning from Knoxville, Tennessee. Well, they're a brand new team, and the Phoenix, despite losing to the Firebirds, they've been around for a while, and I can see Carolina winning this. Maybe Philadelphia was better than anybody expected. I mean, Knoxville will have a shot at it, but I predict Carolina will win this one. Okay, now the Huntsville... I made a mistake. The Knoxville Lightning did play last week. They played the Huntsville Tigers, and they lost 55-8. Okay, so we do have a sense of what the Lightning have. And not too much. So yeah, I think Carolina will win that one. Okay, now Huntsville Tigers at the Carolina Queens. Both of these teams won their games. Huntsville Tigers beat the Knoxville Lightning 55-8, while the Carolina Queens beat the Tennessee Train 18-8. Now the Huntsville Tigers, I followed them as they migrated from the IWFL, where they were the Tennessee Valley Tigers, to the WSFL, and now to the IWFL again. They've never been a high roster team. As for the Carolina Queens, I know they spent a few years in the IWFL's Tier 3 division. Now I think they're just called affiliate teams. So I'm imagining they probably don't have much of a large roster either. So this is probably going to be a scrappy matchup between two low roster teams. A lot of fun. And I'll predict Carolina because they seem to be one of the better of the low roster teams. So yes, I'll predict Carolina. Now there is one interleague game that I mentioned at the end of my WFA predictions. It's the Mile High Blaze of the WFA playing the Colorado Springs Voodoo of the IWFL. The Mile High Blaze is in Denver. Colorado Springs Voodoo is in Colorado Springs. So home field advantage doesn't really mean much because, that's not a long trip. Hard to say what'll happen because they're both, the second team to spring up in their cities. The Mile High Blaze in Denver followed the Colorado Freeze, while the Colorado Springs Voodoo in Colorado Springs followed the Rocky Mountain Thundercats. This will be the Blaze first game of the year because they won a forfeit last week, while the Colorado Springs Voodoo lost to the Colorado Freeze 20-6 last week. So that's going to be, again, another fun, scrappy backyard brawl. I can't begin to guess who's going to win. But I got to guess somebody, otherwise why would I call these predictions? Hell with it. I'll say Colorado Springs will win. There you go. And that completes my predictions for the IWFL. Stay tuned for my predictions for the WSFL. Thank you.